Hey Periscope, I am scoping today for the third time. This is probably a record as far as scoping for me today. But I wanted to just come on. Hello, my name is Kim Offord and I'm with Offord and Associates Real Estate. And I am a realtor in the Chicago area. And I want to thank everybody who is joining. And I want to thank everyone who watches on the replay as well. Hello, hello. And I just wanted to come on very quickly and dispel a myth with condos that I have noticed lately. I had the pleasure of speaking at an event this weekend with a group of great young people from the ages of 18 and 35 who were interested in getting their finances together and working on their finances and learning more about real estate, learning more about all kinds of stuff. Oh, my hair's falling up everywhere. Anyway, and one of the questions that I got from one of them, from a few of them, and I get it a lot. I get this question a lot. And that question is, what's the advantages of having a condo? Or, why wouldn't you recommend a condo versus a house? And I asked one of the persons there, well, what about you in terms of why would you want a condo versus a house? And the first thing that the young lady said to me was that, well, I don't want the maintenance. I don't want to have to deal with the maintenance of a house. I just can't handle it. I don't know if I can handle all of that. It's just me. And, I think it would be much easier with a condo. Well, one of the things, thank you for joining, Wayne Gardner. One of the things that I had to say to the young lady, I said, well, what makes you think with a condo that you're going to be removed of the responsibility of the maintenance? With a condo, you still have maintenance. With a home, maybe the young lady was thinking, hey, I won't have to worry about the roof. I won't have to worry about the furnace. I won't have to worry about getting the grass cut. I don't have to worry about, mowing the lawn. I don't have to worry about shoveling snow in the wintertime. But guess what? You absolutely do. You still have to worry about those things in a condo. The only difference is that you share the responsibility with an association, and hopefully you have a good association who, hires, yeah, absolutely. You have association costs. That's why you have your homeowners association and you have your homeowners association dues and fees. And then I brought up to her, and I don't want to make this seem like I'm negative to condos, because I do believe that there are some great condos in the area and you don't get choices. Absolutely. There's some great condos in the area, but you have to have a solid association in place for it to work. What happens if you're in a 6 flat, which we have a lot of those in Chicago, and let's say 2 people go into have some financial problems. Thank you for the hearts. I gave her this analogy. When you buy a house, you're gambling on yourself. That's it. You're gambling on yourself. You're gambling on the market, and that's it. When you buy a condo, you're gambling on everyone in the building paying their mortgage and maintaining and pulling their weight in terms of the association dues, etc. Now, if you have a great association in place with reserves, with reserve funds, then wonderful. Go for it. Go for that condo. But if you don't have that privilege of having that in place, you still have the responsibility, of the maintenance. You still have to get the roof done. You still have to make sure the common area of the condo is clean, is maintained. You still have to make sure that everyone's paying their dues to cut the lawn. You still have to make sure everybody's paying their dues for garbage collection, for snow removal, etc. And then you have a question? Okay. Sure, absolutely. And then you run into the situation where, what if one of the owners moves out and puts a tenant? in their place. Now, if you have in your bylaws that you can't put tenants in your property, then okay, fine. You run the risk of a unit being vacant if they haven't sold it. But if you do not have it in place that the owners can't put tenants, in their properties, now you have a tenant who really may not, I'm not saying they won't, but they may not care as much as you do about the property. So it is a myth that if you have a condo, then you don't have as much maintenance to worry about with your property. That's not true. You still have maintenance regardless. So you had a question, so I want to go ahead and answer that question that you had. So go ahead and type that question in. But I just, wanted to relay that. And lately in Chicago, it really all depends on what side of town you're on. Condos have been a shaky investment. I can tell you in certain areas, they were the first ones to just collapse during the foreclosure crisis. And a lot of them are still, struggling to come back. There are some areas in Chicago where you can get a beautiful 3-bedroom condo for like $40,000. Okay, you was wondering my experience with people getting approved for homes in, I have money to best approved for homes in multi-level marketing. Is that what you're talking about? Getting approved for homes in multi-level marketing? I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't had any experience with approvals through multi-level marketing. A lot of the people that I have been working with, that I work with, they usually come to me with no financing in place. So you're making a lot of money and you're not sure how to start. When you say you're making a lot of money, meaning you're making a lot of money in terms of your income, and you're ready to now purchase. Is that what I'm gathering here? Okay, gotcha. So it depends. It all depends on what it is that you want to purchase. If you're purchasing a property for owner occupant, that you're gonna occupy, or are you purchasing investment property? That really will depend on how you approach the purchase. And also, a lot of people ask, well, should I get all investment properties? Okay, so some people ask, I have cash, I have a lot of cash, should I dump all that cash into a purchase? It all depends. It really all depends. So in an investment property situation, if you're trying to get an investment property, so like let's say it's a foreclosure and you're trying to get an investment property to flip it, to renovate, and to resell, then more than likely something like that. Okay, so more than likely you're gonna go after the properties that need renovation, and they're gonna probably be foreclosures, short sales, REO, which are bank-owned properties, and those properties are usually gonna go for in your 40s, 50s, and $60,000 mark, depending on where they are and how large the square footage, etc. And I'm going to tell you this right now. These investors that are out here that you would be competing with, they are paying cash. They are absolutely and positively paying cash. Yes. So it's okay. It's absolutely okay to pay cash in those instances. As a matter of fact, it'll be very difficult to even get the contract on the property without cash. Yep. And that's one of the things I told the group this weekend. A lot of them were interested in investing for investment properties to flip. And I was just explaining to them, these properties that are out here in the city that are $40,000 and the $50,000 properties, the investors are jumping in, they're paying cash for those properties, and they are turning them over. No problem. You're welcome. Thank you for the question. They're turning those properties over quickly because what they're doing, they're investing in a lot of properties and they're flipping them. So not only do they have the cash and they have the investors, but they're also contractors. They have the contractors on board and they're paying these contractors to do multiple properties. So they have the relationships. Yep, you took the words right out of my mouth. They have the relationships and they have the discounts. That's a big one. They have the discounts. So where it may cost someone who's just starting and you're just getting your contractor, and this is the first time you've worked with that contractor, where it's costing you $50,000 to renovate a property, it may only cost them $30,000 to renovate that property because they have the relationship. That's part of the, like when you were talking about before, okay, in the other scope. Okay. Oh, getting the team. Yes. Getting your team on board. Right. So what I would say to you is if you know that this is something that you want to do, and you know that let's say you're going to do maybe 2 properties. Let's say you set a goal that you're going to acquire 2 properties in 1 year, and you're going to renovate those properties and possibly put them back on the market. If I were you, what I would do is I'd start off with that contractor or that contractor or project manager or whoever it is that you hire to do the work. I would start off with setting with a relationship with them and saying, hey, if this works out great, I have another job for you. You never know. It may work out that they may be able to work some deals for you and do some things. Now, with you just starting out, you may find that you work with a contractor that you don't particularly like. And so you don't want to lock yourself into a long-term relationship that you end up regretting later on. But you definitely want to make sure that you are, letting them know. Multi-level doesn't last forever. I'm not. Yeah. And the interesting thing about it is I know a lot of people who have done, who are doing multi-level marketing and have done it. And they have had a lot of enthusiasm first couple of years, made good money, and then they just kind of die off a little bit. And the other interesting thing is that how should I say this? The multi-level marketing business that some of my friends were involved in, those leaders moved and started a whole nother multi-level marketing. And so it's one of those things that's just really strange, but I have been, I can't be involved in multi-level marketing because I have a Series 6 and 63 securities license that prohibit me from being involved. Yep. Okay. Yeah. So if you have cash and you're accumulating some cash and you want to do some investing in some real estate and some property, I would say, and it's your first time, I would say start easy. Don't overdo it. Don't go overboard your first time out there. I would go with a property that if it's flipping, I would go with a property that you can acquire, put just a little bit of money invested into it, and turn it over either quickly, but also make it a property that if for some reason you can't turn it over, that you can put a tenant in there. Your income is okay. Probably you're soaking. Okay. Cool. So I'm hoping this has helped in some kind of way. One day I'm going to do a scope where I'm going to have my former managing broker on, and she left. She retired. She set a goal that she was going to retire at a certain age, and she met that goal. And that's how I ended up doing my own business. But I say that to say this: she sets a goal of having a project a year, where she does a property a year, at least one, sometimes 2, and she does have rental property as well, but she sets out a goal to do a property a year, to acquire a foreclosure or something at a very low price, something that she could pay cash for. And then she has a relationship with contractors that she uses with most of her properties to renovate her properties, and then she puts them right back on the market and makes money on them. Now, there's a formula I'm pretty sure that she uses in terms of how much money she would need to make on the property in order to move forward with that. So that's one thing. Now, I started off talking about condos, and what I've been seeing lately, a lot of people have been acquiring condos. They've been paying cash for the condos. Yes, she's a money girl. But she's retired now. And so she was able to see, here's the other beauty of being a realtor and also an investor. We have firsthand knowledge of all the properties that are coming on the market. So as soon as a property comes on the market, if we set an alert in the MLS, if let's say we say, oh, I want a property in this community, if a property comes on the MLS and it's less than 50,000 or whatever, we can get an alert. And if there's a lock, more than likely there's probably a lockbox on the property. All we have to do is pull those codes down. I could leave my house and go and be at that property 10 minutes after it goes on the market, and then write a contract that same day. So that's one of the beauties of being a realtor. Hey, Laura, how are you? Of being a realtor as well as an investor. But Laura, I was just talking about some of the myths of condos, and you've dreamed of being a realtor, even you. Oh, okay. Listen. If you want to be a realtor, do it. Do it. Go out there and do it by all means. Look online, and you can take online courses. There is a certain amount of classroom hours that you do have to have, and just look into it. You just never know. But Laura, one of the things that I was just talking about is that some people think that that by getting a condo that they are removing themselves from any responsibility for maintenance versus a house. And I was just explaining to a young lady that was in one of my workshops that, hey, you still have all the same responsibilities. It's just that you share it among everybody else, and hopefully everyone else is living up to their responsibilities. Yeah, false illusion. Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if someone goes into foreclosure. Heaven forbid someone in the structure goes into foreclosure and you're in a small, less than 10 units in the actual building. So that was what I was just wanted to come on and talk about very quickly. Thank you for everybody who's joining in and kind of coming in on the end of it. But if you are interested in real estate, a career in real estate, I would say by all means, look into it. You don't necessarily, I'm going to be honest with you, sales is the last thing I thought I would be doing. And real estate sales at that too. That was the absolute last thing I thought I was going to be doing. But you know what? I don't look at it as sales. I look at it as being, helping people. I really do. Because the reality of it is that there are two things that you're going to do in life. You're going to live and you're going to die, right? And so while you're living, guess what? You have to have somewhere to live. So I don't really look at this as a sales career. Maybe I'm a person, okay. You seem okay with well, hey, and if you're okay with that, then stick to it, but hey, I'm glad that I inspired you, and I do, definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. But yeah, I don't look at it as a sales career. I just look at it as helping other people to acquire what they are seeking. And for some people, it's their dream. Hey, home ownership is the American dream, right? And so it's helping someone to acquire their dream, giving them the expert advice, being that expert that they need in order to make that dream come true, and just keeping them on track. I don't try, and this is something that maybe would help you too. I don't try to sell anyone anything that they cannot afford, that they do not want, and they cannot have. I do not attempt to do that. I allow my clients I give them advice and I give them direction, but I do not try to sell them. I do not do that. And I may be different from others. Because it is what it is. When we walk into a home, either it hits you or it doesn't. That's the bottom line. Either it touches you in some way. Now I'm gonna hello everyone who joined. Either you saw something that you liked in that house that really hit you and it made you feel like home. You hate the used car salesman type, right? Either you're gonna do it or you're not. I'm going to brand myself. Now, if anything, you're selling yourself. And as a realtor because you're branding yourself and you're making you're showing consumers how you are a good realtor and how they need to work with you. If anything, that's what you're selling. So, and who does a better job at knowing you but you, right? So anyway, I hope I gave some good information this evening, and I'm trying to make scoping a habit. Thank you so much for the hearts. I appreciate it. I'm trying to make scoping a habit of mine, because it goes directly, definitely with real estate. Thanks, Lord. Thank you so much. And thank you for coming on too. Thank you. I appreciate that. So God bless you as well. And you're gonna do well. You're gonna do well. I really think you are. So I believe in you, and I think you're gonna do well. If you did the multi-level marketing and you did well at that, and you can do well at real estate. You can get your license and you don't even have to sell. You can get your license just to be beneficial to yourself as an investor. Because here's the beauty. Here's a little tidbit. Here's the beauty in having a real estate license and being an investor. You get to keep the commission on the property that you sold to yourself. Ha! What about that? So that's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, no, don't get teary-eyed on me. Don't get teary-eyed on me. No. Don't do that. For real, really. You can do it. You really can. So, I want you to, everyone, just thank you for joining. Thank you for the hearts, and catch me on the next one. If you ever have any questions, just feel free to look me up. My website, by the way, is www.offordrealestate.com. And I am obviously on Twitter, but I am out everywhere. Let me block. There you go. All right. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.